Welcome, everybody, to another Wisdom Talks and Meditation. And today I'll be speaking to Ananda Murti and, of course, Yogindra, who are here today. Just going to join our Instagram family in a second as well. We're going to be talking about spiritual growth mindset. Yes, spiritual growth mindset. This is a topic for today. Something we are all wanting to do. I hear about it in the material realm, about this type of growth mindset. Why don't we just do it for the spiritual aspect of it? So that's the idea of this right now, and this is what we're going to talk about. And here they are. I see them on. How are you both?
We're doing very well. We're very happy to be back and excited.
And I can see, look at this. They've got really good internet now, touch wood. You're coming clear like a radiant beam of light, both of you. You're coming down so clearly. So thank you so much for joining. And now we can talk. And I'm just going to do one little check from my side before we start. It's just to make sure we are I can see you guys right. So you're going to see me just turn a bit. There we go. Adjusting live. That's how we do it. So today about spiritual growth mindset. Before we start, how are you both? I can see you very clear now, but how are you guys now? How are you doing?
It's been a very amazing Purushottam Mas, the special month. So we've been really, spending more and more time with our sadhana, with kirtan, with sangha. So we feel like we're in a good place for now. We're praying it stays like that.
Well, that's really good. And before I speak, Yogi, what about yourself? How are you?
Well, for the past few days, to be honest, we've been trying to contemplate a mood of great gratitude, gratefulness.
Yeah.
So just being grateful for all the mercy that the Lord has showered all of us with. And the more gratitude we invest in our spiritual life, the more results we'll get. It's like sowing the seed of gratitude, and then a big flower or many groves of flowers of mercy come.
This aspect of gratitude will be coming into in the spiritual growth mindset as well. So fantastic, giving away the secrets already. Look at this aspect. What are you doing? We're meant to come to these points a bit later. Not straight away hit it.
Sorry.
Anyway, everybody, you can go home now. Now, joking, only joking. So on this aspect of spiritual mind, spiritual growth mindset, one thing that's really, I feel that's important is that sometimes we overlook some of the most basic essence and points when it comes to trying to increase our spiritual life, the practical aspects. We talked about last time about the ABC, and I coined it the triple D, the basic aspects that we need to take us. But I thought today we talk about some of the other practical aspects that we need. And I just want to say thanks. Saroj has just come on. I got my friend Chaitanya on. Bronze Girl is on. Why are you not the gold girl? And then we got Smarter Dia on, Keshav, and also from our lovely, lovely Facebook family, there is 326 of you on. So we're really, really, really grateful to all of you. And by the way, I want you to stick till the end because these guys will be doing some kirtan. So please do stick. It's part of the spiritual growth mindset that we need to have. And Vasudev Krishna is saying, my bros.
He's our boy.
Back to you, Keshav, my boys.
We wish you guys could be here with us right now as well.
That's it.
We miss Bas and Kesh and Govinda and the whole family.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the boys. I know, and we, and of course, Chuta Gopi as well. Mm-hmm. So always. Thanks, Vasudev Krishna. Loving your stuff. Keep it up. Just play that guitar. Do a bit more of it. So if we go on to this, and I want people to also give their points of views. We want to hear, it's not just going to be us talking. We want to hear what you think about this aspect of spiritual growth mindset. So first of all, may I start, brothers, if you don't mind?
Please.
You guys have been born into this spiritual movement that you are, really, really, should we say, you've taken it to your core, to your heart. You're not just bouncing around the sides. But you're actually delved completely in, and you can see that with the different things you do. So, regards to spiritual growth mindset, what is the first thing, the first thing we need to have in developing this growth mindset and taking it to, what do you think in your eyes is the important part of this?
The first thing that comes to mind when you speak of growth mindset, just like any activity, if you want to be good at something, you must invest time and you must practice and you must be consistent. When it comes to being an expert, soccer player, or when it comes to building your body, what do? You every single day, you go to the gym. It's not that you can build a body just by going to the gym on Sundays, if you know what I mean. So spiritual life isn't just going, for Sunday feast every Sunday. It's more than that. So, what comes to my mind when you say growth mindset, discipline is needed. You need to be disciplined, just like you want to achieve anything in life. You put in the hard work. But when it comes to spiritual life, sometimes we become very complacent. Like, it'll happen, it's there. Yeah, we'll just go to our Sunday feast, eat some prasadam. It's all good. But it requires a lot more. It requires dedication, practice. You got to wake up at certain hours, which are recommended. You have to control the mind. You have to learn to control the senses in a way where this is bad for me. This is good for my spiritual life. So you must have discipline. So self-discipline is very important in spiritual life. And I think that's an aspect a lot of us kind of push to the side because, we're too busy chasing other things. So, yeah.
I like that. I'm going to come back. And just, by the way, Radhe Love, she mentions, I joined a bit late. Is there any way you could please save the live session? Yes. Join at Jagannatha_Dasa. And this will be saved on the Instagram. On if you check on my IGTV channel, you'll see with the brothers here a few of that we've done in the past. So you can check there. So anybody that wants to check this out, you'll see IGTV Jagannatha_Dasa. Please check that out, and then you'll get it there. So just let her know before we go forward. I like that point you made about the gym. And there you go. Hi there. I like that point you made about the gym. If you want to do something, you got to have that discipline, that dedication. It's not that you can just go on a Sunday and do it once and that's it. Yeah. And I think that's the first thing, everybody, I like about this. You have to go deep. You have to go deep in whatever you're going to do, whatever it is. Like, for example, if you take medicine, if you go to surgery and somebody said to you, hey, yeah, can I see the doctor? Yeah. And you go and say, how long have you been studying? Oh, 1 year I studied that. You'll run out of that place straight away because you're like, this person is not going to able to prescribe and do what he needs to do properly.
Right.
Similarly, here we have this aspect where we think, even in other faiths, we go to the church on a Sunday, we confess our sins, and then on a Monday we're back to normal, right? You heard about that? I was speaking recently about that, and one thing I would say is that it's important. So, like you just mentioned, you have Sunday programs. So sometimes I've seen that there's some people that will come to Sunday programs for like say 20 years, but that's it. They'll just come to Sunday programs.
Yeah.
So it's like sitting on the fence in a way, isn't it? It's like, okay, yeah, I'll do a Sunday. That's it, and then I won't go the other days. But so is that what you're coming on to? Just so if I'm correct.
100%. Just again back to the example of even like the doctor example. You want to become a qualified doctor, you need to put in the hours. You have to put in the time to study. So why is it any different for spiritual life? You must put in the hour, the dedication, the time. It is not a once in a week kind of thing where I got some spare time, let me practice my spiritual life. It has to be the forefront. It has to be the center of what you do, And actually, we don't realize, but spiritual life is actually one of the most hardest things we can, this path is one of the hardest paths to tread on. So it requires twice as more commitment, twice the amount of effort, twice the amount of dedication. It's not easy. It's not an easy path.
It's also one of the most important aspects of our life. We give so much importance to our jobs, to everything else.
Yes.
And we put our time and energy in those things. But spirituality is literally the most essential part of being even a human. Srila Prabhupada often describes, and I'm quoting him, I'm not saying this, that without like dharma, without religiosity, we're living kind of like the animals, you know, just enjoying, trying to get by, surviving. So the very fact that you're a human being means that you should be doing spiritual things. You should be investing your time and energy in that aspect of life.
Right.
So yeah.
Thank you so much. And that's actually, that just brings us on to one other aspect, which is this human aspect of life that you just mentioned, right? I'm just checking to see if I can see. Yes, I can see you, brothers. I'm just checking. So this aspect of life, there was a nice saying that sometimes we talk about, why do we follow the 4 regulative principles? And actually, everybody will say yes, because we're controlling our minds. We're trying to, you know, practice spiritually properly. But actually, if you really break it down, it's to elevate us from this animal mindset.
100%.
Right? It's if you think about these 4 regulative principles that we're doing, you can give all the philosophical answers you want, but it's actually to elevate us from this animal mindset. And these 4 regulative principles that we're talking about is, of course, no meat eating. There's some aspects or compassion. Let's go into that. Compassion. So some people won't eat meat. Truthfulness, you know, always speaking the truth. Cleanliness, and austerity. Right? These are the 4 regs. And actually, if we do this, it's actually we're just taking ourselves to the mode of goodness. So when people say, you know, I'm doing this, yes, this will just set our foundation to take us out this animal thinking behavior of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This is the reason we do it, right? What's your thoughts?
Exactly.
And it's also one important reason why we do it is because, like, the animal consciousness is a very selfish consciousness. Even when you're trying to take care of your loved ones, it's all about me, my parents, my brother, my society, my nation, my country. But on the when you break apart from that and see everyone on the level of the soul, then it no longer becomes about me. It becomes about everybody as Krishna's child, everybody as the spirit soul who's part and parcel of Krishna. And through that vision of equality, when you see everyone, then it's not about me. It's not about you, the self. It's about serving everyone and anyone and trying to get them to elevate their consciousness so that they can ultimately reach the goal of life.
Wow. And this is the point. I think you hit on a really good point, especially for that spiritual growth mindset. Having this aspect that we are not who we are, the spirit soul, and to see the spirit soul in every single being on this planet. And when I said being, you notice I didn't say human being, I said beings, because even animals, they have a spirit soul. Everyone has this soul in their body. That's what makes us active. So this, if you think about it, if we saw that, and you just hit on a phenomenal point, if we saw everybody, our people that we may not like, people we really like, but if we saw, you know what, actually this person is part and parcel of of the Supreme. This person is belonging to the Supreme. They have a spiritual soul inside them, just like I do.
Correct.
Doesn't matter what color they are. Doesn't matter what. As soon as we have that mindset, I think that would be the thing that would change the whole world, wouldn't you think?
100%. You know, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions, he says, we have this United Nations, and he says, what united? They're, still arguing. They can't even pass one bill because they're arguing in my nation, my country, they're still on that bodily concept. But, most of the problems of our world can be solved if we teach people about God consciousness, because then when you realize I'm a soul, you're a soul, we're all spirit part and parcels of God, then we all start working together. We have that, mindset that we're all family, we're all God's children. So you wouldn't bicker anymore. You wouldn't argue on these mundane, bodily, temporary platforms anymore. It wouldn't be about that stuff. It would be about how can we work together to better and use what Krishna has given us, what resources Krishna has given us. How can we use it in Krishna's service for the welfare of society? So it would change the whole mindset.
Love it. And
it's a very selfless, it's like a very selfless lifestyle. And we all notice that a selfless lifestyle is more fulfilling than a selfish one. You know, no matter how much you amass, at some point, even if you're a billionaire, you'll try and do charity work because it doesn't satisfy you. So you'll
That's so
naturally
true.
want to go into the selfless, you know, service aspect of life.
Yeah.
So in Krishna consciousness, or elevating from the animal consciousness to the higher consciousness, is all about going from selfishness to selflessness.
You
So
know what, you've hit on a good point. So one thing is about even the rich, after they get there, because they think they're driving for that, then they just want to do charity work. Philanthropy is born through that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason we have it, you know, and it's so true. You can see it, everybody. This is what it is. And I love the point that, you know, about the United Nations, that this is not a United Nations, Srila Prabhupada saying. But if we have the mindset, actually everybody's my brother and sister, apart from your wife, or, you know, that we have that type of mindset, then we will able to have, number one, respect for everybody. I think this is what I like about the mindset with the Krishna conscious society, is like we call everybody Prabhu or Mataji, right? Everyone will say, you know, I know people say some would be like to address as Prabhu, whatever you want to call, male or female. If you want to be called Prabhu, that's fine.
Yeah.
Male and female, if you want to call Mataji, we'll leave it to you. But just for this time, we just want to just say Prabhu as the man and Mataji as the female, just for this example as well, just here. So Prabhu means, what does it mean? It means master. And also Mataji means mother. So if we had this mindset that we saw everybody as our mother and our fathers, just say like that, then think about this society, how amazing it would be, how much love there would be. And actually how amazing that would be for us in actually creating that spiritual mindset in our minds, that, oh my God, the people around me are my brothers or sisters, my mothers and fathers. We are one big family. We are all in it together. Wouldn't that just help us to, because right now, one thing that's not helping with spiritual growth, and I've seen it, I see it around me, is like, you know, that person, you know, like, I don't like this about them. Or, you know, this person, they did this and I can't forget. I don't want, it's like this type of aspect of finding the fault when like there's so many positives about that person. People start to, so this is a third one. So we talked about a few. One is you talked about that for a spiritual mindset, you got to invest time.
Yeah.
You talked about that, you know, you don't just want to be a Sunday person where you just go Sunday. You want to do it regularly throughout the day, go deep. You know, we gave the example, analogy of a doctor. You're not going to go to a doctor that's 1 year qualified. You're going to go to someone that's fully qualified, that's learned it properly. So similarly, we should do that. The second part we talked about was about that we should see people as the spirit soul. And understand that we all are the spiritual spark of the divine. And if we have that mindset, then we don't look at creed, color, etc. Right?
Exactly.
And the third part I want to just to go to, if these are the three, before I say, what do you think the third part is for us to try to, oh yes, the third part was where we say about not this fault-finding mentality.
Yes.
About others, like, you know, this person's this. Jagannatha, man, this guy, what the hell, you know, what are you talking about? You know, like we have that inclination in ourselves. But let's take that a bit, because this is, I think, for spiritual growth, this is really important. I think this is a reason, like Srila Prabhupada said, that people will not leave the movement because of the process. They'll leave because of the people, right? People will not leave the movement because of the process. They'll leave because of the people. Okay. So this is the reason we're talking about this. And this is why we're doing the spiritual growth mindset and why we want to be practical reasons. So why do you think, and this happens, I'm just giving an example, this happens in all societies. Why do you think we have this thing about fault finding instead of just thinking we're in utopia? Why is that? I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because I'm sure you've experienced as well this aspect.
Why do we fault find? You know, what comes to my mind is, you know, the example of a bumblebee and a fly.
Okay.
And basically, most of us are like the fly. You know, we may be in a beautiful garden of the most beautiful flowers, but what will we find? we will find the dirtiest place to go and sit. And but whereas a bumblebee, it will find the most nectarian place, the flowers. It'll go and seek the essence.
My
So
God.
we have to transform our consciousness from being like the fly to being more like the bumblebee. And it doesn't take a great man to find faults. Hey, anybody can do it. It takes a few seconds to look at someone, judge them, and say this and this. Oh my God, awful. Oh, what the heck, But it takes an actual great person to find, even seek the essence. It's called saragrahi in Sanskrit, and to be able to be an essence seeker. So it actually takes a great person to find even the small, slightest spark, of nectar in someone. And the best example of that is our Srila Prabhupada. I mean, who else would have seen a spark of Krishna in, hippies, these druggies that were doing LSD, that were living just like animals, that had no, conscience whatsoever, that had no cleanliness, that were very dirty. They weren't showering. They were, they were just living on the street. They were bums. But Srila Prabhupada saw in them a spiritual spark of Krishna, and he flamed it. He fanned it. So he's Saragrahi. He's one that sees the
That's
essence.
it.
So we have to be like the bumblebee. We have to seek the nectar in every situation, in every person.
And everybody that's watching, if you like Transformer, that's not the bumblebee we're talking about. Okay. We're talking about here. I really love that analogy. Thank you so much. I think it's very important to highlight it right now. And also it's Shax said, what an insightful and apt analogy. We got to be the bumblebee, not the fly. The fly lands anywhere, even on places we don't want to touch. But the bumblebee will land on flowers, will find the nectar. That is the bumblebee. I love that. And you'd said that we got to be like Sahagrahi, right?
Yeah,
And it's the essence seeker. That's what we want to be, is the essence seeker. I love that. So guys, we're talking about spiritual growth mindset for those that have joined in, and you're getting some nectar here coming from these boys, right? And the first thing they mentioned, we've gone through a few points. The first one, and I'm going to ask this at the end, that's why I'm going to mention these, because I want some people, when the kirtan's going on, to summarize some of these points, please, just to see if it's going in, and also to help us also remember as well. So the first thing is invest your time correctly. Okay. And by the way, Mira JPS said, what a buzzing analogy. Very funny. Bumblebee, buzzing analogy. Ha ha ha. Love it. Proper nice point, Sandy Panny, who's probably traveling the world right now. A great mate that travels around doing Sandy, we know you. So we said invest time. Don't be a Sunday person. Do it all the time. Okay. Next thing is try to see the spirit soul in others. Like actually, see that. If we do that, less problems will start to come. Next thing we talked about is stop trying to be fault finding. And this analogy was given about the bumblebee. Try to land on places like flowery places instead of landing on places of poo. And Sahagrahi is the mention. We've got to try and be essence seekers. And actually, let's take that further, because I think you've really hit. Yes, that was my guitar falling. I'll pick it up later. So the next part I want to just bring on that then. So, okay, so the essence seekers, what else can we on this aspect of to try to alleviate this fault-finding mentality to help us grow our spiritual mindset?
Well, Jagannath Prabhu, when you asked the question that what causes us to find faults in others, immediately I thought about the root of it being envy. That because we're envious, that when we see that someone has something that we don't have, we might fault find. We might say, oh, they have this, but they suck at this, and I'm better at this, Right. So the root of it is envy. And envy is the reason that we're here in the first place in the material world. When we were in the spiritual realm and we saw Krishna face to face and we were playing with Krishna, we saw that he was getting all the attention. We saw how much everybody loves Krishna. even the cowherd boys' mothers love Krishna more than they even love their own sons. So like to have a situation where you're seeing this person 24 hours getting all the attention, we got envy. We got envious. I want to be the center of attention. That's why we're here in this material world. So the root of this fault finding can be envy. And the solution to envy is chanting the Mahamantra. But why chanting Hare Krishna? Because Hare Krishna Mahamantra puts you in direct association with Krishna. And when you associate with Krishna, you get purified and you get Krishna's qualities. And Krishna is Saragrahi. He will see the gold. He will see the honey, even where there's only just a drop of honey. Maybe there's 100% poop and even just 0.01% honey, and he'll still find the honey. So just chant, associate with Krishna, let that enviness die, and then be Krishna consciousness and experience the happiness.
Wow, thank you so much. Let's keep that. I love that Sahagrahi mindset. I think that's going to be probably a session that we're probably going to even to try and break it down, because for me, it's about spiritual life hacks. It's about how to really go down to the essence of the principles. Like, it's really good to hear the stories, but actually we need to start not just about because if you just hear a story, then we're just going into the sentimentality aspect of mode. But actually, what is the principle we're getting from it that we can imbibe in our lives? And this is what I love about the movement. We have this aspect, we get it. So you just mentioned, and I've just seen Chandra, I think CHND.GR. He says, yes, we are not completely satisfied with who we are. So we blame the outside world, faults in others. Thank you so much for being so open and honest. It's so refreshing. Honestly, that's what I love about coming on and doing these talks and speaking to people like you, because we get such amazing individuals like Chandra, who actually is being so open and honest and being straightforward. Isn't it just fantastic?
Beautiful.
And Chandra said, I'm not a follower. I do believe in meditation japa. And you know what? That's the main thing. Long as you've got some essence that you are following to evolve your mindset, and that we can help and somehow be a catalyst for that. That's all we care about, So we're just giving you an example from ourselves that we're following a Krishna conscious methodology. We're following a certain Vedic teachings. But again, we're just giving our thoughts and things. If you follow another way, that's completely fine. Long as you do it to the best of your abilities and try and use some of these processes we're talking about and use it in your faith. Trust me, it'll be a catalyst to take it to the next level. I guarantee you that. So I've seen it with my friends who may be Christians, Buddhists, Jewish. They really have felt the power of these points we're coming about. So please stick to the end, because you're going to see something even amazing. So, okay, we've really gone into some points here, and I really love it. We talked about fault finding. We said about trying to do, like Yogi talked about the point about try and see the attractiveness in things instead of looking at the negatives. Capture that. That's what Krishna does. So we're trying to follow in that type of way by being sahagrahi. One thing I also felt, because of this envy you talked about, in our hearts, like we talk about in the deadly sins, we have these deadly sins that can really affect. Envy is one of those. Jealousy comes into it, but envy is seen even deeper. It's actually the root cause of issues, So if we could so what can we do? How can we trick our minds? So say, for example, I'm seeing something happening and I'm getting envious of it. Okay. What can we do, like, to trick our minds? Because it does happen. We got practical people I know on this session right now. Is like, yes, I agree with you, but I need some practical advice of what I can do to help me overcome that, because that negativity is killing my spirituality. And like we said, envy is like the most dangerous one. So can I ask your guys' thoughts on any type of tips or tricks you could give on this?
The first thing that came to my mind is this small little story from Chaitanya Bhagavat, written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. And in this, Mahaprabhu specifically talks about how to deal with the poison of envy. So Mahaprabhu has just taken sannyas now, and he's at the house of Vidya Vajaspati, and all the residents of Navadvip have come to Kulinagram to see Lord Chaitanya and ask him forgiveness for all the offenses they were doing to him when he was a householder, because they didn't know that he was a sannyasi. He was, the supreme personality. They didn't know he was this great personality. So while they were asking forgiveness, one Brahmana asked, "What should I do? I was so envious, and I made so many offenses. What should I do?" And Mahaprabhu gave the most astonishing response that I hold very dear to my heart. He said, "The cure to the poison of envy, so the nectar which cures the poison, is praising the Vaishnavas." So he said, so what can we learn from that? Basically, if you ever feel like you're getting envious, honestly, I would just say start praising the person. Start looking for good qualities. Think of one thing where you're like, wow, that person is an amazing dedicated servant of Krishna. So just you gotta, even if you have to force yourself, try and look for something that you appreciate in that person. Start appreciating the devotees, and naturally that poison of envy will be cured from your heart.
Fantastic. Anything to add on that one, Yogi?
Yeah, something came to my mind, but then it just went away. But wait, what was it? I think it was that envy. Oh yeah, it's like a technique I also use, which is because it's like sometimes envy is so like covered. It's just like it can be something as simple as, wow, that guy plays such good mridanga. I wish I could play a mridanga like that, But that's so subtle, but that is envy. It's a subtle form of envy. So how I deal with that is changing my mindset to seeing everything in relation to Krishna. So when you see that devotee, Krishna has given him so many gifts, so much talent, and he's using that talent for Krishna's service, then that changes your whole attitude. You say, wow, and you start naturally praising the person, saying he's using his gifts in Krishna's service. And then you shouldn't ever think that your gifts are less, but you should look at your gift and say, what can I offer to Krishna? Because anything and everything that Krishna has given to you, just simply use that in his own service, and you've perfected it. It doesn't matter how much you have, just whatever you have, just use it. And it reminds me of the example in Ramayana, when Lord Ram was trying to build a bridge of rocks across the ocean to Lanka. Then big monkeys were bringing huge trees and huge mountain peaks. At the same time, there were little spiders, there were little squirrels that were taking little pebbles and rocks and doing the best they could. And Lord Ram saw no difference between the spiders and the big mighty apes. So from this, we can learn that whatever you have, it's not less in Krishna's eyes. It's actually more. And Krishna sees your intention. And if your intention is, whatever I have, I will offer to Krishna. Even if it's 20%, even if it's 15%, I don't have anything. I don't have any talent, but whatever I do have, I will give it all to you, Krishna. Then he doesn't make a differentiation between your talent, your gift, because everything is his. What he sees is your intention, your love. So my little technique is to always see it in that regard, see how, wow, Krishna has given such amazing gifts to us all. Let's just keep using it in his service.
You just given away the next milestone that we would have gone to. I gladly love it that you did it, because and I wanted to, and you've just explained it so beautifully, and so I'll bring that up now, and that is this aspect of intention. Do it with full heart. Do whatever you do with the best ability that you can do. Or because you see somebody, like the example is given of, like you just heard a really nice example here. One thing that comes to my mind is when we were doing, we do these type of barefoot walks at spiritual places. So one it's called parikraming. So it's walking, doing, paying respectful obeisances as we're walking around spiritual places. So one place that comes is when we did in a place called Vrindavan Parikram, or Govardhan Parikram, this amazing mountain that is so spiritually centered, and is, which Krishna lifted with his one pinky finger. So going around, this is a parikram. And I remember seeing some people, and they would go walking like barefoot. And I was feeling, you know what? yeah, I can do this. And I was quite happy in doing it. I was like, yeah. Then I saw somebody, remember, this is about, was it 22 kilometers or 28 kilometers? I saw another person, they were doing not walking parikram, they were doing what we call dandavat. So what they do is they go completely on the, they'll stand and they'll go completely on the floor and they prostrate all the way down, give a obeisances and put a stone where their hand reach the furthest. And then they'll get back up, walk to that spot and do the exact same thing again. And they'll do 28 kilometers like that. And I was like, actually, I felt in a way, okay, so suddenly that what I felt was what was good suddenly became like, mate, you're doing nothing. Yeah. You know, because I saw that. And then what you just mentioned, the thing is, I did to the best of my ability, according to time, because I didn't have, because of work, I couldn't do 28 kilometers, but I did to the best I could at that time walking. So this is what the divine looks for, is our intention. Are we doing our best we can for that time? Yeah. You know, so don't beat yourselves up. Try the best. It's another mindset. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. All because, like, say, for example, Ananda Murti, he's like a phenomenal Madanga player. I've seen some comments, right? And then suddenly I've got a Madanga. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to pick that up. You know, I'll never be as good as him. But instead of that way, just try your best. And the intention is there. And then at the same time, praise him that, you know what, Ananda, you are one amazing Madanga player, which he is. And so it's like, by having that, what that does, it gives us the impetus to try our best as well. Now you got the blessings, you know, because the person on the other side is like feeling really nicely, like this person's being genuine. Yeah. So this is the point. So we talked about praising, not being envious. Praise that person. Yeah. And somebody said a really good point on this, by the way, praising. 2 points, very apt. So here we go. Okay, Mira says, but what if those praises aren't coming from the heart and they sound fake? And just to add on that, if you don't mind, Roshni says, but what if the person is not spiritual and doesn't do anything to serve Krishna? So 2 points, okay? First, that it's not coming from the heart and it sounds fake. The second part is that it's not spiritual. So the person's not a spiritual person. What do you do?
So for the first question, the first one is, what if it's not coming from the heart?
Yeah.
It is like anything. I don't think, you know, it's honestly, the phrase that comes to mind is fake it till you make it. You know, like, I don't think most of us start off doing our sadhana and it's difficult for us, but we do it because we have to. So, you know, if you get into a habit of appreciating others, it'll naturally become something that is very normal to you, and then it'll become part of you. So if it's not coming from your heart, like, for example, we were preaching to some Lebanese devotees. I mean, Lebanese folk, and they were, you know, interested in bhakti yoga. And one of the women, she said, I do not want to bow down. I don't want to bow down in front of this God because I just don't feel it in my heart. And then the what was told to her by one of our seniors that was leading the preaching mission, he said, well, it's just, if you try it, then, you know, you might start feeling something. And, you know, if you keep doing it regularly, then you might become accustomed to it, and slowly you will get a taste for doing it. So it's the same principle. It doesn't matter if it doesn't come from the heart yet. At least you've acknowledged it, you know, with your mind. You can see, and you know that, you know, you feel a little bit of envy or jealousy. Just appreciate the person. It's like you have to take your medicine. You have to cure the disease of the heart. So you have to learn to praise. You have to learn to look for the good. Once it becomes, you know, habit, then it will become something that it comes from the heart. It'll become natural. So it's just like that.
And it will also purify your heart. Yes. So like when you appreciate the Vaishnav, even if it's not from your heart, you can tell Krishna, look, it's not coming from my heart, but I'm really trying. And then because you're appreciating a devotee, you'll get purified, because the devotee is so dear to Krishna. All the devotees are.
I love it.
And the second part of your question was, what if they're not a devotee of Krishna?
Yeah.
Well, the secret is that everybody is actually
Exactly.
eternally a devotee of Krishna.
They are.
So if you're looking at everybody with the vision that he, she, everyone is actually a servant of Krishna, and actually everybody has Krishna's qualities. Everybody has Krishna's gifts and talents. And even if they're not using it in Krishna's service, they still have it and it belongs to Krishna. So appreciating or seeing it and saying, wow, Krishna has given this person such talent. Like I do it personally so many times. I love acting, I love drama. And when I see an actor doing amazing, I'm like, wow, Krishna has given him so much. Like one of my favorite actors in Indian cinema is Ranveer Singh. When I see Ranveer acting, I'm like, Krishna has given him so much, you know? I wish he was using it for Krishna. But even if he isn't, wow, Krishna has given it to him, you know? So it's not really a barrier.
Also to add on to Yogi's point, who is the ability in that man? Who is the talent in that man? Krishna says in the Gita, I am that, intelligence. I am the ability. I am that fame. I am that beauty in everything, you know? So we can relate everything back to Krishna. So yeah, that's the way to look at it.
There you go.
You know, one thing that I love is that because we're all parts and parcels of Krishna, while quantitatively we're not the same, Krishna is vast and we're very small. Qualitatively, we have his unlimited potential in us. So because we're made out of the same, like we're part and parcel of Krishna himself, and he's so amazing, we have the ability, potential to be amazing. That's why there's so much amazingness we see around us.
It's all Krishna.
It's all Krishna's energy, his energy.
It's his energy.
Yeah.
There we go, guys. You're right. This is another way to grow our spiritual growth mindset.
Yeah.
Is to see Krishna in everything. If you are a believer of another faith, then see that divine, whatever the name is, in everything you do.
Exactly.
Because this is what will make the difference in your life. Why do we do prayers? Like there's some faiths that will do it 5 times a day. In the Krishna conscious movement, we'll start from 4:30 in the morning all the way till 9 p.m. There'll be certain prayers and artis happening every day, every time, at certain times in the day. Actually, scientifically, the reason is so we always remember Krishna and never forget him. That is actually a reason. People say, why do you audibly chant on the beats? Actually, it's to prepare us.
Yeah.
That we always think of Krishna and never forget him. This is the reason. This is a science, and this is the way our mindset will grow. So, guys, it's been absolutely, again, really good. And we were thinking about this, and it was something that born out of realization, this topic. And today we've come with some amazing points. I'm going to come to the last point. I'm going to see if anybody gets it before I come. So the first point was invest your time. Don't be just a Sunday seeker.
Yeah.
Do it 7 days a week. Do something, do it regularly. Be disciplined, be dedicated, as you heard from Ananda Murti. The second point was that see the spirit soul in everyone around us. Because if you have that aspect, this aspect of creed, color, everything else, orientation, whatever it is, will go out the window, and we will see that person, love them. And the aspect is that when we see people with respect, we will then able to have that natural aspect of servitude, selflessness. Then we said about the fault finding. So try to be a person like a bumblebee instead of a fly. So a bumblebee will always look for flowers and look for the nectar, where the fly will go and sit on even poo. All right. So this is what we want to do. Have the bumblebee mindset. I really loved it. And we said it's about being a sahagrahi, which means an essence seeker. That's what we need to have. The fourth point was try to avoid envy. Envy is the thing that will kill our spiritual life.
Yes.
So we put this aspect of center of attraction, etc. These are the things we have to try and be very careful of. So to try and break this, one thing is to praise those people that we are envious of.
Yes.
Like the point is, sometimes, even if it doesn't come from the heart, fake it until you make it.
There you go.
Because it's just going to burn yourself. And if somebody's good at it or doing something good, you know what? Just tell them. Just tell them this is actually reciprocating, even if you're not getting the love back. Okay, this is the point. And then we talked about the next part was the fifth one, and so there's 6 altogether. The fifth one was that do your best what you can do. Okay, the intention is what is going to be seen, not the activity.
Correct.
What intention are you doing the activity in is what is close to Krishna.
Yeah.
And the final one, before I reveal it, for now, there's so many more, but and we will probably do more on this. And I would love to post the points on here. Vaidehi Taka. Unfortunately, I'm talking at the moment, so I'll try and see what we can do later. If somebody has been listening to this, please do mention them and point them out as I've just been talking. That'd be really great. The last one, I want to see what people think. What do you think the last one is we want to talk about today to help grow our spiritual mindset? We talked about praising, and it's related to that. It's the opposite. Anybody?
Anybody?
Anyone. Let's see. Lord Supreme. That answer will go for everything. Come on, let's see. I want to see. We got really good attendance today, and thank you so much for staying on. And while we're waiting for the answers to come out, if you're liking what you're hearing today, then I just want to say that my 2 brothers here, you can catch them on Instagram. They're Ananda Murti, Ananda, the Ananda Murti, Murti. Okay. And then Yogi has to take it 1 eye more. So Yogi is being, Being, Yogi, Yogi, 3 L's. Okay. I even know it now by heart. See, that it works. And if you're liking this and you want to connect, you can connect with myself as well on Instagram. It's Jagannatha _Dasa. So it's JAGANNATHA _Dasa. By the way, don't click away right now. Click afterwards so we can finish these points, because we've got the 6th point, and then the boys are going to do some lovely kirtan to help us grow our mindset and meditate on these points. So we got purity of the heart. Love it. Purity. No slander. Close. Very good. Surrender. Love it. See, we got so many. How to avoid negative if one person. Really good. I'm getting a lot from Instagram. Come on, Facebook. Last one was use your talent for Krishna, because everything is for Krishna, coming from him only. Very nice, Yogita. Serving others. No fault finding. Yes, you've hit it. Lord Supreme. Humility. Okay. There's so many we can go with, but the one I was thinking about was this aspect of not finding faults. But even further than that, not causing the word I'm going to use right now, aparad.
Aparad.
Okay. Aparad is like you've just made a lovely garden of these lovely, spiritual plants. You've nurtured them, you've looked after them, and suddenly aparad is like walking big elephants that have come and stomped on your ground and just killed everything you just started. That's what aparad is.
Yeah.
And I'll ask the boys, if you can, please, could you explain what aparad is and why it's so bad for us and what will affect our spiritual growth mindset?
You said it so perfectly, Jagannath Prabhu. It's literally when you're like gardening and you're planting this soil of bhakti that is very, very, very fragile. You're watering it with what? With the holy names, with association, right? You're practicing your spiritual life. That's nourishing your seed of devotion, your seed of love for Krishna. And then what do? You open the gates to an elephant that comes and stamps all over it. That is literally aparad.
Yeah.
That is offenses. And the worst offense you can do is to talk badly about devotees, to offend devotees. That is the worst thing, because why? Krishna's heart is devotee. The heart of Krishna is his devotees. So if you worship deity, but you cannot respect all living beings, which are parts of Krishna, especially his devotees, then what's the point of worshiping Krishna, the deity, or even worshiping God? Because he's found in every single person. So aparad is basically what you're not supposed to do. It's kind of like bringing it back to bodybuilding. If you're eating candy, sugar, all that stuff, it's like a big no, no, no. All your gains go down the drain. Similarly, aparada is the worst thing you can do in your spiritual life. It's very scary, and it's like spiritual suicide.
There we go. You said it so beautifully. By the way, guys, so these are the ones today's spiritual growth mindset. Do these 6 that we're talking about, the processes we said, eliminating certain ones that we should try and stay away from, and guarantee you, your spiritual growth will increase no matter fold, honestly. So I think what we'll have to do, brothers, because there's so many more that we can talk about. And of course, we're limited on time. So we're going to have spiritual growth mindset part 2 coming up. All right. And that's going to happen next Tuesday, same time. So, but I want everyone to digest these points. I want us to really go deeper and to try to see how we can implement these in our lives. And I want to say thank you to these brothers here today that have joined. And I also want to see a really nice thing that we need to do whilst all this is happening, whilst we're working on these practical points, is we need to spiritualize somehow. So on that, without further ado, we would love to have a little kirtan. We've got 5 minutes left. It'd be lovely to have a little kirtan from the boys here. That'd be great. And sorry we couldn't reply to every single comment and question coming in today. We apologize. We will make sure the next session we'll try and answer as many more questions. It's absolutely fantastic, the amount of engagement we've had on this subject. So please, my brothers, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Oh, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
Wow. What a lovely way to help grow our spiritual mindset. Just by hearing this type of mantra meditation. Look at the ecstaticness. One person said that was B.B. Govinda Maharaj's tune.
It was. We were remembering him.
and actually, these boys have been serving B.B. Govinda Swami. So, when he was in Vrindavan. So we saw so many lovely pictures. And we'll be talking on these type of topics of serving, access, all these type of things that are coming next time as well. So I just want to thank you so much, brothers. And also, I want to say, if everybody has loved today, I want you to do a few things. First of all, follow them and check out their Instagram account. Also, if you feel been inspired, follow myself, Jagannath_Dasa, and where we'll be, you'll be staying in tune with all the different programs that are coming. We're here to serve you. And next week, these boys will be back on. We're going to do part 2 of spiritual growth mindset. So do stay tuned for that. And also thank you to the Facebook family for joining. If you've liked it, then share this post. Share it in the different places and let as many people, we help them to elevate their consciousness practically with the examples we're giving today. And we got Ashutosh says, followed all of you. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you, Ashutosh. Thank you. Really look forward to serving you more deeply as well. So just on that basis, everybody, I want to say thank you. This wouldn't be possible if you guys didn't join, give us the hearts, give us the information, and also give the support and the love. So we want to say a big thank you to all of you. Brothers, anything before we close?
We just wanted to thank you, Jagannath Prabhu. Let's all thank Jagannath Prabhu for organizing this.
With a loud Haribo.
Haribo!
It's only possible when you have great association. It's because of these two boys. So today's talk, I've really felt so uplifted. So I really want to say thank you to both of you. And let's keep this Sangha going. And everybody online as well, let's keep this Sangha going. And don't wait too long, because on Thursday, I'll be having our sister Achyuta Gopi coming on for Power of Prayer. There we go. So we check that out. So on that basis, I'll say Hare Krishna and have a great morning, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.